It's when Henry Cavill walks through the smoke and he says, I like truth, but I'm a big fan of justice. It's my favorite Justice League.
I think he got a different cut.
It makes me laugh every time.
I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
But I'm a big fan of justice. I wish you walked through and said that. I'd be like, oh, shit.
This version's back?
No. What have we done?
That Walter Hamada's like, I was right.
I was right. That's the one right there. If we're going to meet halfway, if you're going to put Superman in here. What's going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? We are going to talk a different kind of talk about the Black Adam post-credit scene. I am, of course, joined by the buffest man in the comic book world, Coy the Man Jandreau. How are your biceps?
They're doing okay. You know, I interviewed The Rock, and I felt like a small child, so I've been going back extra hard and extra heavy, so I'm trying to keep up.
It's a good interview. You guys should watch it. It's on the Nerdist channel. He didn't want to do it for our channel.
I was like, no. Specifically not the real rejects.
So there's a short of Coy's up here where you can get his opinion on Black Adam. Bottom line, he liked it quite a bit. And then you can watch our non-spoiler review that I did with John.
Less of an experience.
Yeah, it was all right. That's just where I landed.
I really didn't expect to be as enamored with it as I was.
And I'm happy you did. And I've been up editing way too late, too often this past week and a half to argue with you on it. So
we were going to do a heated debate a la the Eternals, and Greg was like, I would like to sleep soon.
Like, you know what? I'd rather you just accept your opinion and go.
Except that I enjoyed it.
But the post-credit scene, though, that is something that has been a massive talk. And it's something that it seems like Dwayne Johnson himself has really been wanting to get the word out on there. It seems like he wanted it to leak, you know, and that's what I find so fascinating about it. So I want to go over our emotional reactions to this, and then I want to talk about some of the lead up to it, because I feel like it's just been such a fascinating journey of what's happened specifically with this post-credit scene. So yeah, real quick, we got to go over what happens in this post-credit scene. Black Adam, he is now officially back to being ruler of Kahndaq, looks badass. Walter Hamada. No, it's Amanda Waller. Walter Hamada shows it on
This little tiny producer is just like, we don't want Henry Cavill.
We don't want Henry Cavill.
He's not welcome here. 3 Superman spinoffs. Here's the headless Superman again. I'm Walter Hamada. Leaves.
Walter Hamada is the Amanda Waller of the DC.
What is this, some sort of Superman squad?
So, Amanda Waller shows up in a drone. Dwayne Johnson, as Black Adam, says, there's no one on this planet that can stop me. Amanda Waller replies, I can call in a favor, send people who aren't from this planet. And then freaking Green Lantern shows up, and Martian Manhunter shows up, and Darkseid out. It's everyone not from this planet after the Dwayne Johnson says, send them all. So after he destroys the drone, suddenly the silhouette descends from the sky. Now keep in mind, like Coy, we're going to get into his thoughts on his experience with it, because Coy had not had it leaked for him. He saw it before a lot of other people, and I had it leaked for me before watching it. Like, it was just everywhere, and there were some journalists who decided, just screw it, I'm going to lead with it, and then Dwayne Johnson wasn't helping either. I feel like Dwayne Johnson was like, he's in it, don't worry.
He's a proud Papa Bear.
He's going to be in it. But even knowing Henry Cavill was going to show up, when the original Superman John Williams score started playing, I was like, oh, this is still really exciting. this is still great. So then when he walks through the smoke, and then you see that he's got a different kind of hair with a cool little Superman curl, and his suit looks just so beautiful and sleek walking through. And I think he says a line that feels like a tad bit meta. It's been a while since anyone's made the world this nervous.
I haven't put on this cape in a long time. It's good to be back. I definitely made a sound. I'm embarrassed retroactively. I'm remembering when he comes through and you first see his face, because we've had so many faceless. I think I was like, whoo! Like, I made an excitable, like, this is insane.
It was nuts.
The whole time there was that rumor going around for months. But since it hadn't been confirmed in any way, you could feel the credits were about to roll. And then when it happened, I was back to phase 1 Marvel. I was like, can they do? Is it? I was so emotional. I got back to that, like, oh my God, they're bringing in characters from multiple franchises. It literally felt like 2008 again, where I was like, they can do that? Even though they've been doing it for 14 years, since I didn't think we'd ever see Henry Cavill again, since I had kind of like let the DC universe go. I mean, I made a whole video here about what I would do to relaunch the DC universe, and it was largely wrap up the films you have now, keep a DC Black label, and then recast the core players launching from Shazam and Black Adam. But that meant recasting Henry Cavill. As much as I love him, I just thought that's the way they were going to go. So to be honest, seeing him on screen with that score in the perfect suit, so perfectly shot. I felt like I did when they first said the Avengers Initiative.
Yeah.
I fully felt that magic.
And then that line, I think, is so great because Superman made people nervous. So it kind of sounds like they should team up.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Versus them fighting each other. It does raise some questions.
Instead of BVS, it's BA and S.
Yeah.
They bring it all full circle. Well, and I love that, like, we also imply that she can call Superman. Like, that's really interesting, too, that, like, Amanda Waller have any...
It's a little weird.
You know what I mean?
It's a bit weird.
Because, like, Amanda Waller having dirt on Superman is interesting.
A bit weird since she was always like, we need to prepare for if there's a Superman out here, you know? Like,
Yeah,
Superman
but we won't
going
show him because we can't show his face.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird that
We'll just refer to him a lot.
Amanda Waller could just call on Superman.
But I also like the idea that Superman is already, like, keeping an eye on Black Adam, so then it's just like, okay, you had one chance to do it your way.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do it my way. But I would love to see any sort of interaction, whether it team up or fight. And to be honest, I would personally rather it team up between the two of them, and he's the reluctant foil. Because if we have a Black Adam versus Superman movie, it could easily be like Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like pew, 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 for 2 hours.
It'd be great.
I would watch it. I'd be excited about it. And you could lean into the anti-hero stuff a bit more.
Zack Snyder could direct a really good Black
Do you think
Adam
Zack Snyder
versus Superman
does he
movie.
know Superman? Do you think? I feel like there's a lot of
They would destroy the world at the end of the movie.
No, but I honestly I wonder what it would look like to have Henry Cavill, because he's done so many other things outside of Superman. Like, would that movie feel like a Rock movie, or
Right.
would it feel like the Man of Steel flavor, or would it feel like, going forward to the DC universe? Because this is a brand new start, effectively. Like, we're changing what DC Films is. Is the inevitable, the two of them, is that going to feel like a Man of Steel 2? What if Shazam 3 and Man of Steel 2, that Black Adam's the villain of both?
Then The Rock's really controlling the DC universe.
He's the Thanos, but he's like full time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm the big villain and I'm the big hero.
I'm gonna be everywhere on Black Adam.
Everyone's always said Black Adam should dominate the DC universe.
This is the hierarchy shift I demanded.
Just Black Adam everywhere.
But no, I think it's really interesting that we're getting more of the old guard, kind of. When they announced Man of Steel 2 and Wonder Woman 3 and basically the same conversation, I wonder how much of this is because of what The Rock did with Henry Cavill. Was it a domino,
I think what happened here is he helped show that, maybe we didn't need to do a whole reboot or a whole reset on the DC universe. We just needed to kind of refine a couple of things without being like, erase it all. Just start it all over again. We're freaking out, man. It's been a while since everyone's made the world
this nervous.
Yeah.
That's actually Walter Hamada wrote that.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how to reboot everything. I think what happened with The Rock was he kept hearing how much people like me, because we talked about it, were so overjoyed and so overpowered. I think he just got proud Papa Bear energy. Like, when I see him like leak it, he's always just like, Like, I think he just got excited. So I don't know if he ever meant to, but he's such a good businessman. He's such a good marketer. There has to be a part of his brain that's like, this thing that worked for me is going to work for others. I'm really proud of it. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Well, the original post-credit scene, if I'm not mistaken, was Superman was going to show up, but they were going to kind of do a Shazam thing where you don't really see his face, and how that kind of carried over into Peacemaker, where there was a Superman, but you don't see his face.
Which is so weird.
Well, they wanted to leave it open, and then Hollywood Reporter did, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but there was a report that came out about Walter Hamada, everyone's favorite man, Walter Hamada, not wanting Henry Cavill specifically to be in there, but Dwayne Johnson sort of went around him, went to the producers DeLuca and Abdi to give it the thumbs up, and they only shot this in September. This is post Comic-Con.
This was shot right before Labor Day, according to this article. That was just now.
That's nuts. And that explains so much, because remember there was a bit of a kind of a vitriolic response in parts of the crowd with Comic-Con when Dwayne Johnson came out there and everyone was hyping up that Henry Cavill is going to return. He's going to return.
People thought he was physically there.
I believed it. I believed it. And the way Dwayne Johnson was sort of dancing around it, I've had my criticisms of the movie, and I've had my opinions about what the conversation was sort of morphing like when it came to Dwayne Johnson seeming like he has like this unusual control over the DC films, or at least the ones he's involved with, right? However, knowing that this came out in September, knowing the way he reacts to fans, knowing the way he listens, knowing that, man, people really want Henry Cavill Superman, I got to make sure this happens, because this is the one. Like, this would not have happened if it weren't for him. And I think that is so insanely awesome that it was him listening to the fans. Like, I'm not a big fan of this movie, but damn do I respect the fact that he went all out like that to get Henry Cavill, especially being in the crowd. And, you know, they have videos of Comic-Con with some people booing when it came talking about Superman. He would dance around the subject of it, of like,
because
it depends who's Superman. Yeah.
That conversation was already deep in play.
And he was trying to get it done. Yeah, he was trying to get it done. If they shot this
in September, that means when he's sitting there in July, he's going like, I'm trying. Like in his
yeah,
head, like,
he's
I've
trying.
been trying so hard. And I really respect the fact that even after the movie comes out, he's still so wanting to know what that experience was for us. I think there's a reason The Rock is this big of a staple of the movie entertainment world. And the reason he has so much control is I don't think there's as many people as plugged in. And again, this sounds like a shameless name drop, but when I walked in the room to do the interview, he had seen our reactions and knew who I was. No one at his level with 6.7 million followers or whatever on Instagram does their own Instagram except The Rock. Like, The Rock was the one that, like, picked the screenshot and sent it out because he knew this channel. That means he's that plugged into the fans. He's that invested in what people want to see.
I need to reshoot my non-spoiler review.
Dude, he legit knew.
Dwayne Johnson's going to watch our us. Why until they crop in Coy into his montages, and Sean and Greg aren't included in those Instagram videos.
Some people were shit talking on the non-spoiler review.
Gotta be honest.
And then Greg's like, make sure Coy doesn't do a review because he liked it. Keep that positivity off the Real Rejects. There's not other actors of his level and producers of his level that are that hands-on. Because he made this happen because he knew that's what people wanted. I mean, this changes the DC universe. Like, he single-handedly did change the hierarchy of power.
Moves like this is something beautiful because knowing the journey and the build-up, how it was like this forsaken Superman.
That's so weird they were going to do faceless Cavill again.
I know, it's just like the Superman and Henry Cavill was in purgatory when I'm like, this is kind of strange how we're not doing anything with it. And it took Dwayne Johnson fighting.
That's what's so weird is Henry Cavill's such a good Superman. He clearly loves the character. The fans want it. Those are the three ingredients you need.
Yes.
You want the actor to be invested, you want the fans to want it, and you want it to be the right casting choice, which it clearly was. It's very strange that it took another movie 14 years after his movie or whatever it was to be like, no, he's back. Like, that's a weird, that's unprecedented.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
I don't think that's ever happened in the history of any medium.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a beautiful post-credit scene. The Rock has been, you know, kind of a little bit unclear of where he thinks the direction should go after this. It's like, obviously he wants a Black Adam versus Superman movie. Like, obviously he wants that to happen. Is that the next movie? We don't know. We have no idea.
Shazam should probably interact with Black Adam at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, do you hop immediately to Black Adam versus Superman? Or do you do one in between that's Black Adam versus Shazam?
I would do Shazam 3 with Black Adam as the villain.
That'd be cool.
Like, I would call it Shazam 3, have Black Adam as the villain. That way you get one more movie to fall in love with this take on Black Adam. Because, you know, a lot of times when you got that big conflict movie, you want to be established in the character. So you make Black Adam the antagonist. That'll further, you know, solidify him as the anti-hero. Then you do a Superman versus Black Adam movie.
Yeah. All right, guys, what are your thoughts? Leave them down below. Follow Coy on TikTok. Subscribe, click that bell, leave a like. Catch you all soon.